For my answer to this task, I chose to use x as time and y as distance. And I made some simple equations, which I can show graphically here in Desmos. So the first one is the rabbit, and I came up with y equals x squared as the function because pretty much that's what happens. His speed increases by 1 every time that the clock increases by 1 second. So, 1 times 1 would be 1, and 2 times 2 would be 4, and 3 times 3 would be 9. And as the seconds increase, the overall distance would increase by a factor of each value of x times itself. So that's how I came up with that one. Then the turtle, I came up with y equals 3x plus 60. Because he started at a distance of 60, remember the y-axis here is distance this time, or in this problem. So he started at a distance of 60, and as the time increases by each second, his rate, obviously the rate times the time would be the distance. So this whole thing is in terms of distance, the way it's written. And he went a steady rate of 3 meters per second the entire time. So he just started here and kept going in a linear fashion. The alligators was a little bit tougher. I came up with this formula. Y equals 1.5 to the x minus 5 times, oh well, it went out of the exponent. Oh, I have to put some parentheses here. And this is times 5, x minus 5. The reason I did x minus 5 is because he had a 5-second delay, so I'm subtracting the 5 from the time. And in that way, that kind of forces the alligator to be a negative distance here on the graph, but obviously he wouldn't start until 5 seconds, so that's good. And then he becomes positive and keeps going according to this function. So that's why the 1.5 is times x minus 5. So at 5 seconds, he would be going 1.5 meters per second. And at, say, 6 seconds, he would be going, I'm sorry. So he wouldn't be going anywhere at 0 seconds, but at 6 seconds, he would be going 1 meter per second, 1.5 meters per second. And that's times the distance here. And at 7 seconds, he would have a 2 right here. So it would be 1.5 times 1.5, because it says on the task that every second he went 1.5 times faster. So this would take care of the 1.5 times faster, and this part would be essentially seconds after 5 seconds. So that's how I came up with the graphs. And just for being able to show this, since y is in distance, we can make the constant function y equals 100, and that would be in meters, so 100 meters. And it appears that the rabbit finishes first, though they are all pretty close. The rabbit is at 10 seconds because it's a squared function once again, so it's 10 times 10 would be 100 meters. And the other two are come finish the race a little bit after that, only up to almost 14 seconds. The turtle finishes, and the alligator's nearly directly between those two. So it appears like if the alligator had not delayed, he may have actually won this race. But because he did, he's a little bit behind the rabbit. So I didn't test that theory out, but that's what I came up with. Thank you for listening.